What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be breaking down water skis and showing you what kind of a ski you may want to be shopping for if you're going to be water skiing behind a wakeboard, wake surf boat, or any kind of stern drive boat. All right, everyone, so this is Mitch at BoardCo. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite things in the entire world, which is water skis. And specifically talking about water skis and what you want to look for in a water ski if you're going to be skiing behind a certain kind of boat. Now, a lot of the boats that we are selling lately, or that people are buying, are boats that are specifically designed for wake surfing or wakeboarding. These boats generally have bigger wakes. They're designed for kicking up the biggest surf wave you can, and so they're going to displace a lot of water. The downside is it doesn't create the optimal setup for water skiing. And so I'm going to talk to you about what kind of a ski you may want to get if you're going to be skiing behind one of these surf boats. This also goes to a lot of wakeboard boats, and the same type of principles apply to stern drive boats, things such as like chaparrals, cobalts, bayliners, just boats that are an inboard, outboard that have a drive system on the back of the boat. Now, when we're talking about some wake surf boats, I want to be clear on what I'm referring to. When we're talking about V-drive boats, boats that have the engine in the back but that are inboards, ones that people typically surf behind, there's two different styles I want to refer to. The first one is purebred wakeboard or wake surf boats. The other one is what we refer to as crossover boats. And I want to make sure that we're understanding the difference because there's going to be some distinction when we're talking about water skis. If we're talking about wakeboard or wake surf specific boats, these are boats that water skiing was not really designed in or thought through in the design of the boat when it was created. These are boats such as a Centurion RI series boat, a Nautique G series, any of the newer Supra boats, a Malibu M series or MXZ line. They're just boats that are not going, any like Mastercraft X series. They're boats that are going to throw a big wake that are not going to be very forgiving for water skiing. Now, there's other boats that are referred to as crossover series boats. These are boats that, though they are designed primarily as wakeboard and water ski boats, or wakeboard and wake surf boats, they also have some thought put into the way that they can cross over to water ski behind. These are boats such as a Centurion VI series or even an FI series. These are things such as a Malibu LSV line with a diamond hull. Additionally, this is like Mastercraft's XT series of boats. They're boats that can throw a bit smaller water ski wake than the purebred surf boats, but they're still not like a tournament direct drive purebred water ski specific boat. They're boats that kind of can do everything a bit well, and I want to draw those distinctions so that you know what kind of boat you have so that you can know what I'm talking about when I'm referring to these skis. Now, I've got a few different skis behind me, and the reason why I have these ones is they've got some different characteristics to them that are going to make them better or worse for skiing behind big wakes, and I want to be able to show those to you. So the ski that I grabbed right here in the middle, this one I just want to point out a few key features on a slalom water ski. This one is one of our best-selling skis. This is a Radar Senate Graphite. It's a mid to high-end range ski in both the construction as well as just the ski shape and design. And you can ski on this ski behind wakeboard and surf boats. It's not necessarily the optimal ski to use, but it is a ski that you could have a good time with. But there's a couple different things I want to point out on this ski specifically, and I want to show you how it differentiates from a ski that is a higher end ski and a lower end ski, and why you may want to go with each one of the three different styles for getting behind a big, if you're going to be skiing on a big wake. So the two things I wanted to really focus on is the shape and design of the ski and the construction of the ski. So as far as the shape and design of the ski, the Senate is about as much of a traditional shaped water ski as you can really get. It's got a narrower tail that changes and has a little bit more width through the main body, and that width carries up and eventually tapers off a little bit towards the nose. Now the Senat's a little bit wider than some other water skis, which gives it a little bit more stable platform. That will help. It's going to be better than something like the Radar Vapor that's right behind me here. It's also designed for skiing at, generally speaking, higher speeds. The Senate is optimal for between 30 and 34 miles an hour. You can certainly ski on the ski at 28 or even 26, but there's skis that are going to do a better job at those slower speeds. And so it's just a traditional overall shape. The width and the design of the ski is not great for skiing on a big wake, but there's worse skis that are out there. The other thing that I wanted to point out is the construction of the ski. So the Senate Graphite, it's called, within the Radar Senate lineup, there's a few different constructions in the ski. And the difference in the construction is going to be how rigid the ski is as you are skiing on it. In other words, how well the ski is going to maintain its shape and how quickly it's going to flex and bounce back as you're cutting through the wakes and as you're coming through a turn. Now, if you're going for high performance, you want a ski that's going to be stiffer and more rigid. The highest end construction that they build the Senate in is called a Pro Build. It's got super stiff reactive foams running through it. It's also got a lot of different carbon fiber laminates. And the idea is to make a ski that's going to be really stiff and rigid as it heads through the wake so it maintains its shape. That's going to allow the ski to build more speed. It also is going to make it so that when you come through a turn, the ski is going to snap in through the turn really quickly, which is going to make it aggressively turn around and build more angle to come back through the wake after you make a turn. Now, if you're skiing in a water ski buoy course or on a purebred direct drive ski boat, those can be very beneficial things. That said, if you're skiing on a bigger wake, those can actually be major detriments. When the ski is super rigid, the ski can't absorb the big wake that you're going through. Therefore, there's only one thing left that can absorb it, and that's your body. You can absorb it through your knees. You can also absorb it through your lower back and other places that are a lot less fun. But the idea is that the more flex the ski has, the more forgiving it's going to be as it comes through the wakes, but it's also not going to go quite as fast. Now, on a small wake, speed is good and flex is bad. On a big wake, flex, generally speaking, is pretty good. And speed, in some cases, is kind of bad, because when you have more speed, it's going to really buck and kick you when you're coming up the wake, especially if your ski stays really rigid. Now, I'm going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, what you don't want if you are skiing on a big wake. So right here, I've got a Radar Vapor. You can see even just in the design of the ski, you can see this fat weave carbon fiber that's running through the top. It's super lightweight. It's composed of PMI foam. It's ultra reactive. It's about as stiff and rigid of a ski shape and design as you can get. And what that means is that if you're skiing super aggressively on a really high level, the ski is going to be awesome. It's going to be a blast. This ski also, the Vapor, it's narrower through the tail and narrower through the main body than what we have at the Senate, which means it's going to sit even deeper in the water and it's going to want to ski at higher speeds. So this ski is optimal at 34 to 36 miles an hour, where the Senate was 30 to 34 miles an hour. If you're skiing behind one of the newer surf boats, chances are you're probably going to ski a bit slower. And so this ski is really just going to drag a ton. It's not going to be fun at all to ski behind it if you're skiing at 28 miles an hour or 30 miles an hour. It's also going to be ultra rigid, which means it's going to sit really deep in the water. It's going to be a lot of work. You're going to turn it around. You come back through wakes and it's just going to pop and really launch you when you come up off the wakes. If your goal is to catch a bunch of air and to have a really jarring landing, it's a great ski, but that's probably not what you're going for. So something like the Radar Vapor Pro Build is going to be about as far away from an optimal ski if you're skiing on bigger wakes as you can get. Now let's go to the other end of the spectrum. This one right here is a ski from HO. It's a HO Freeride Fusion water ski. And this one, as you can tell, I'm going to compare it to what we had with the Vapor. It's much wider through the tail. It's a lot wider profile here at the back end. Also, as you go through to the main body of the ski, it's a lot wider through the main portion. You've also got a rail shape that's very different here on the back end of the ski that has a really turned down rail. This is what HO calls their clean edge technology. And this is going to create a lot of lift at the back end of the ski. So where the Radar Vapor was sitting really deep in the water and was going to be a lot of work to crank through, this Freeride Fusion is going to be really smooth gliding as you're going through the water. You can ski at much slower speeds. This ski does a great job at 24 to 28 miles an hour. You can go a little slower than that. You can also go a little faster, but those speeds, this thing is going to do a fantastic job. and those are probably going to be more in line with the speeds that you're wanting to go when you're skiing behind one of the newer surf boats. The ski is also honestly kind of heavy core. It's just a straight regular foam core that doesn't have any super special properties to it, and it's going to dampen the effects of either rough water or bigger wakes that you're cutting through. Now the downside too is you're not going to be able to cut nearly as quick and fast as what you can on a Vapor or a Senate, but you're going to be able to have a more controlled approach through the wakes, which actually means your full edge all the way through the wakes is actually going to probably be faster on the ski than it is on one of the others, because it's not going to throw you out of alignment and out of place as easily if you're skiing on this ski, because the ski is going to absorb some of the impact when you come in through the wakes. Also, chances are if you got a bigger wake you're skiing on, you're not going to be just really railing in coming into the wakes unless you're just a lot braver than I am. You're going to come in with a little bit of hesitancy, and this is just going to give you more confidence when you're heading back into the wake. Also, chances are if you're skiing behind one of those bigger wakes, you're probably not a really advanced skier, and this ski is going to be easier in every regard, from easier to get up on, it's going to be more stable once you're up on the water, it's going to be less work while you're skiing. There's a lot of different thought that's gone into these newer ski designs such as this, where they've optimized the ski to be a better experience when you're skiing on it. Older ski designs were really hard to get up on. They drug a lot. They took a lot of work. And the reason why is because they weren't that much different than the purebred tournament style skis. Newer ski shapes such as the Freeride Fusion are going to make it so it's much easier to be on a ski and honestly way more fun. So if you've got a newer style surf boat or wakeboard boat and you haven't really spent much time skiing at all, I heavily encourage you to get a ski such as a Freeride Fusion, HO Hovercraft, any of the different ones in the Radar lineup, like a Terrain or a Union that's going to be a little bit nicer and easier to ski on when compared to some of the older ski designs, and it really will make skiing a much more fun experience for you. I'm a relatively advanced water skier, but getting on a ski like this and going skiing behind a bigger surf boat is still a blast to have. You can do some big carves, you can really rip around quite a bit, and you're not going quite as fast, and it's not nearly as taxing on your body, and so it's not going to beat you up, it's not going to hurt you. And so when you get out there and there's glassy water in front of you and glassy mornings, it's sure a lot more fun to put one of these guys on than it is to jump on a surfboard for a lot of people. So I highly recommend it. Get one of these to go on your surf boat. You will not be disappointed. Hopefully this has been helpful and can give you some ideas what to look for when you're looking at a ski, or hopefully it may be useful in just convincing you to get on a ski at all. So skiing is a blast. It's one of our favorite things to do at the store. We actually require all of our employees to get out and learn how to ski and figure out skiing. And it's funny because it becomes, for many of them, the thing they like doing the very most, even though before they came here to work at BoardCo, all they had done is put on a wakeboard or a surfboard. So hopefully this has been helpful, get you some answers to some questions you may have had. If you have any other questions, please let us know. We're happy to help. We're also happy to make any more videos on different topics you guys want covered in any more depth. Check us out on boardco.com. Let us know how we can do to help, what we can do to help you. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, click the bell. That way you can know when we have new content coming out. We're here to try and hopefully be educational and informative and give you guys some good stuff to be able to learn about so that you can love this as much as we do. We appreciate it a ton, and we'll talk to you later.